Mars has been knocked clean out of its own orbit. And right now, it's on a direct collision course with Earth. The chaos has already started. The ground is cracking open, and killer waves are swallowing entire coastlines. People across the planet haven't slept in days, just from watching it grow bigger in the night sky. But how bad is this actually going to get? Is there any way humanity survives it? This is what would happen if Earth collided with Mars. How did we become a target? An asteroid hit Mars hard enough to derail its path. That single impact booted it out of orbit, transforming our neighbor into a rogue drifter. These wandering objects act like ghosts. Lacking a star, they reflect zero light. Our telescopes struggle to register them. Humanity was blind until the threat parked in our driveway. But get a load of this twist. Rewind 4.6 billion years and you will find another Mars-sized object wrecking baby Earth. That prehistoric smash melted both worlds, and the cooled leftovers formed the moon you see tonight. Will history play out the exact same way? Or does this spell total annihilation? The red planet spans 6,800 kilometers across, barely half our world's width. Don't let its stature fool you. It closes the distance at 10 kilometers per second, fast enough to make the swiftest jet look stuck in cement. Hey, before we get wiped off the map, hit the panic button, click subscribe, and drop a like on this video. Let's roll. When the warning drops, you'd assume global hysteria. Instead, millions walk outside. They climb onto rooftops to watch. At first, the vibe isn't terror. It is pure fascination. A new crimson bulb hangs in the atmosphere. Then the bizarre side effects kick in. Chronic insomnia infects the globe. You toss your morning coffee because you simply cannot get tired anymore. An aggressive restlessness takes over. Chaotic energy infects everyday life. An influencer places a watermelon smack dab in her living room to represent our fragile world. From the far wall, she violently hurls a heavy bowling ball straight into the fruit. A brutal visual showing exactly what is coming. The clip breaks the internet. Funny enough, the closer Mars gets, the less anyone on Earth seems to be sleeping. But trust me, lack of sleep is about to be the least of our problems. Because in just a few more days, that beautiful red light in the sky stops being something people want to look at. We hit the 15-day warning. Mars sits 4 million kilometers away, resembling an angry red moon. How massive is the threat? Let's use perspective. That space rock that took out the dinosaurs only measured about 10 kilometers across. Stacking that ancient killer against our current 6,800 kilometer nightmare makes the impending doom feel impossible to grasp. The insane gravitational pull intensely warps our planet's crust. Sea levels surge upward in patterns scientists have never tracked before. Huge tidal walls threaten beaches. Then an unforeseen bonus effect hits. The incoming intruder scrambles our magnetic field. Did you know the northern lights are supposed to stay locked near the Arctic? Right now, they're lighting up the night sky over the Caribbean. And that's just a side effect of Mars saying hello. Everything flips upside down. The animal kingdom loses its mind. Flocks of migrating birds abandon seasonal routes, disoriented by the busted magnetic grid. The financial system collapses. Folks stop going to their jobs. Not out of terror, but because clocking in feels pointless. Resources will easily last until doomsday, so nobody fixes a broken pipe. Expensive crap loses all meaning. Designer clothes, gourmet food, sports cars, it all drops to zero value and becomes free. Block parties erupt everywhere. With zero left to lose, humanity pulls off the unexpected. It throws the ultimate bash. A rock festival takes shape with stages on every continent. Every band's ultimate farewell tour. Planetary destruction serves as the opening act. Turns out, when the world is ending, humans don't panic forever. They throw the biggest party in history instead. But not everyone is dancing. While the planet parties, a small group disappears. Scientists are quietly working on something. Something nobody at that concert has any idea about. Humanity secretly planned on colonizing our red neighbor for decades. And those old blueprints just found a new purpose. Escaping to another solar system is impossible. But we possess just enough time to construct a temporary waiting room. Thousands of orbital stations, designed to hover just outside our atmosphere so survivors can safely ride out the trauma. Those concert stages magically transform into spaceship scaffolding almost overnight. 8 billion humans, farmers, physical therapists, prep chefs, software engineers, athletes, accountants, everyone grinding the exact same objective for the very first time. In just a few hectic months, they assemble hundreds of thousands of survival pods. It takes 4 exhaustive days to herd passengers inside. We load livestock, aquarium fish, agricultural seeds, root vegetables, fresh fruit. And yeah, gaming consoles and boxes of fruit roll-ups. Look, if our species is forced into a giant waiting room, we might as well be comfortable. But they're not running far. They're flying just far enough to watch the whole thing happen with their own eyes. 3 days remain. Mars aggressively breaches the exact distance of our moon. Ocean levels surge upwards by 60 to 100 meters, drowning coastlines everywhere. Say goodbye to New Orleans, Tokyo, and every major metropolis built near the surf. Bye-bye. The gigantic red sphere completely eclipses the sun. We plunge into an icy darkness with a ticking clock. At just 200 kilometers out, the intruder swallows your entire field of vision. Fasten your seatbelts. A crushing atmospheric wave heavily slams into our skies, making drawing a breath incredibly difficult. Solid ground splits open into jagged trenches deeper than any historical fault line ever created. Concrete structures collapse. Entire metropolitan zones turn into dusty gravel pits. Right as the impact happens, gravity itself goes haywire. On the side facing Mars, it drops to just 30% of normal. On the far side, people actually get lighter too, 3% lighter, exactly as they die. Congratulations, you finally hit your weight loss goal. 0 hour arrives. The invader viciously shreds through our atmosphere. Brutal friction melts a thin outer crust off the approaching rock. The descent generates a sickening amount of thermal radiation before plunging straight into the ocean. A catastrophic shockwave rips across the entire globe in seconds. Here is the wildest twist. The two bodies do not simply strike once. They forcefully bounce apart following the initial blow and then violently crash back together a second time. The raw thermal output packs the exact same punch as billions of atomic warheads detonating all at once. Both rocky spheres completely liquefy. Oceans furiously boil and evaporate. Torrents of glowing magma flood across what used to be solid land. The invader's heavy iron core punches straight into our center, permanently welding the two planetary guts together. From the perceived safety of the fleet, passengers scramble for sunglasses. The flash from their burning home is bright enough to blind them. Toasty. Shattered chunks aggressively blast upward. Smaller rocks rain back down as storms of liquid fire. Ouch. Larger displaced chunks, some measuring the exact size of European nations, successfully catch an orbit. Eventually, they form a thick ring system, resembling an incredibly dangerous glowing version of Saturn. Spiffy. Some high-velocity shrapnel violently strikes the moon, permanently increasing its mass forever. Our rotational velocity alters in unpredictable ways. We could potentially spin noticeably faster or dramatically slower. And the sheer kinetic transfer triggers something much more severe. The brutal collision physically punts our charred world straight out of its normal solar path. And that last detail is exactly what nobody on those space stations sees coming when they finally come looking for home. Up in orbit, harsh reality sets in. The fleet never left orbit. It drifts through the dark right alongside the wreckage. Stockpiled meals, water, and oxygen will only last a few short years. But the molten planet below needs centuries just to cool. So the fleet makes a drastic call. The pods transform into massive cryogenic chambers, drawing endless power from the heat glowing below. Our species goes to sleep for hundreds of centuries. When the automated alarms finally ring and everyone wakes up, you feel absolutely horrible. You are groggy, intensely exhausted, and several billion cups of coffee away from feeling functional. But the floating sphere below completely evolved. Brand new continents, a drastically altered atmosphere, potentially a severe new axis tilt causing entirely foreign seasons. But an unexpected silver lining reveals itself. The ancient ice caps that originally sat on our attacker completely melted upon entry. That means the invader inadvertently delivered massive oceans of fresh water. Plus, all that churned magma infused the dirt chock full of essential minerals, creating premium soil for growing crops. Survivors excitedly sprint toward the viewing ports to gaze upon their ancestral home. You wipe the fogged glass and peer into the void, and you observe a completely empty stretch of black space. The catastrophic strike knocked our world clean out of its solar orbit. So if Earth isn't where it used to be, where exactly did it go? And could anything possibly survive out there, drifting through space, with no sun left to orbit? That answer might come in another episode. If you survived the apocalypse with me today, do me a solid. Smash that like button and verify you're subscribed. The universe has laws, but we're here to push them to the breaking point. Until then, catch you on the next one.